Hello, good morning, everybody. I'm Dr. Niharika Saxena, and today we'll talk about antemortem inspection. It's a bright day outside, and it's a bright sunny day today, and we'll study antemortem inspection. And here we have the disease conditions and judgments during the antemortem inspection. So here is the slide of mine. Okay, diseases encountered in antemortem examination. We firstly have rinderpest, a highly contagious viral disease of cattle characterized by a rapidly fatal febrile spores with localization or inflammation and necrosis on the mucous membrane of the digestive system. Okay, so rinderpest is a very common disease in the ruminants. For example, like cattle, fallow sheep, goat, wild swine, and wild ruminants, they are also susceptible. The common symptoms are fever and diarrhea on the third day, and conjunctivitis, swollen eyelids. Here you can see the photograph of rinderpest. Here you can see the antemortem significance is unfit for slaughter because the buccal mucosa. Here you can see the mucosa and the face. It is congested, and there is ecchymosis and grey spot size of lentil seal. They appear, and high fever, erosions in mouth with grayish yellow deposits. Antemortem significance is unfit for slaughter. So these animals which are infected with rinderpest are not used for slaughter. Next, we have the FMD disease. It is a very common disease. You will often encounter this disease because it is very acute, febrile, and highly contagious disease of cloven-hoofed animals caused by a filtrable virus. It affects mostly cattle and pigs, and the symptoms are vesicles on skin, interdigital spaces, dental pad, fever, and the top of claws. So it is also found in the interdigital spaces. Here you can see in the photo how there is loss of saliva coming from the ruptured salivation in the FMD affected cattle and ruptured vesicles in tongue. And the antemortem significances, it is unfit for slaughter. Here you have swine fever. Here you can see the lesions of hog cholera. You can see that there is contagious disease of pigs, and there is constipation, diarrhea, weakness of hindquarters, hyperemia, and the antemortem significance is that it is unfit for slaughter. Next we have the sheep pox and goose pox. Here you can see the lesions. Lesions in lambs and goat. Here you can see there are vesicles and scabs all over the face and from the eyes, nose, and the mucosa, teeth, and others. So basically, goat pox is more severe as compared to sheep pox. So in lambs, malignant form is more common, and there is marked depression, prostration, high fever, discharge from eyes and nose. And the antemortem significance is that if there is fever, then it's not suitable. Otherwise, it is treated as suspects. Then we have the rabies, acute viral infection of central nervous system. All mammals are affected, including birds. Symptoms are restless, excitable, aggressive, anorexia, suspended rumination, inability to swallow, impaction of rumen, spasms of neck muscles, sexual excitement, switching the tail, furious stage to attack, and the antemortem significances. This is unfit. Okay, rabies is unfit. Rabies carcass is unfit for slaughter, and also the animal which has rabies, it is not taken out for slaughter. When we have the tetanus, now the very pronounced symptom of tetanus is the prolapse of third eyelid. And you can see in the horse that the third eyelid is prolapsed and the hind limbs are stiff. So it is an acute infectious disease caused by Clostridium tetani, and it is characterized by spasmodic contraction and tonic contraction of muscles of face, neck, body, leg, and tail. And the antemortem significance is that it is unfit for slaughter. Then we have John's disease. John's disease is a very common disease. You often encounter it in stray cattle because of the Mycobacterium paratuberculosis it is caused, and it has a debilitating diarrhea, and it is chronic infectious granulomatous enteritis of ruminants. Symptom is between 2 to 6 age group. It happens, and then it is also this disease is also known as the bag of bones because the animal is has the persistent diarrhea, and the hand cutters from the tail to hoof will be stained for watery foul smelling feces that come as gas bubbles, and there is emaciation, submandibular edema, diarrhea. The antemortem significance, you will see this is unfit generally, but if the condition of animal is good, then it is taken as suspect. Okay, so you can see the bag of bones appearance in the cattle in John's disease. And next we have the caseous lymphadenitis, where there is formation of abscesses in lymph nodes. Here you can see the lymph nodes of the goat is swollen, and there are abscesses in it. There is an abscess in the goat. Okay, and the symptoms are dry muzzle, depressed animal, enlargement of superficial lymph nodes. Abscesses ruptured, thick green pus is discharged. Systemic cases, pneumonia, ataxia, paraplegia, intrascrotal lesions, antemortem significances unfit. So this animal of the is unfit. Hemorrhagic septicemia, acute or subacute infectious disease of cattle, sheep, swine, and rabbits caused by Pasteurella multocida, Pasteurella hemolytica. Symptoms are depressed animal, dry muzzle, dry coat diarrhea, hemorrhagic diarrhea, copious nasal exudate, and edematous swelling of throat. Here you can see that there is a picture of a buffalo where there is edematous swelling of throat. There is edema on the throat. Okay, so the antemortem significance is unfit. Okay, then we have swine erysipelas. So it is caused by erysipelotrix brucopathy, mainly in pigs, but lamb, man, pigeon, rabbit, they are also susceptible. Okay, this is also called as diamond skin disease. Okay, now you can see there is this diamond-like shape, rhomboid elevations on the skin. Okay, and in the severe cases, there is slowing of epidermis, formation of leather-like crust. Antemortem significance is that it is unfit for food. Chronic cases of diamond skin disease, the animals are treated as suspect and the affected organs are rejected. But if arthritis is present, then the animal is unfit. Now we have black leg. Black leg is caused by Clostridium shower. Okay, it is a gas and spore forming gram-positive rod-shaped bacterium spread mainly by soil infection, wound infection, and entry. Symptoms are lameness with or without fever, swellings in the limbs, back and flank, small, hot and crepitating swelling, and the antemortem significance is unfit. So black leg infected animals are unfit, okay, because there is lameness in the limb, okay, and there is swelling in the limb, back, and flank. Here you can see the photo which has a crepitating swelling in the limbs, okay, and there is also this is why this is known as black leg, okay. Next we have the anthrax. So anthrax is caused by enlargement of spleen caused by Bacillus anthracis. So it is spread by inhalation, ingestion, skin penetration. So there are two forms, peracute and acute. In chronic form, fever, muscle tremor, dyspnea, congestion of mucosa, after death, discharge of blood from mouth, nostrils, anus, vulva. Acute anthrax temperature is 42 degrees Celsius. In fever, dullness, anorexia, edema of face and throat. In man, malignant pustule, local infection of skin, lungs. This is also known as Wool's-Hotter's disease, okay? And even the intestines are affected. So the antemortem significance is notifiable disease and it is unfit. So whenever you get an anthrax case, you're supposed to notify the authorities that we have an anthrax case here, okay? And it is deemed as unfit. So what happens is generally that the blood starts oozing out from the animal's nose, nostrils, and the openings, all the mucus opening of the animal's body. Then we have mastitis. Mastitis is an important disease of lactating animals caused by streptococci, staphylococci, coliform bacteria, fungi. And the types are acute, chronic, coliform, gangrenous. Symptoms are enlarged udder, infected quarter is thick, flaky, watery, feverish. And the antemortem significance is chronic mastitis, only udder is rejected. In acute or septic mastitis, animal is unfit. Now we have septicemia. So septicemia also you can see this is an example of an animal affected by septicemia. This is how it's just lying and it has high fever, shivering, dull eyes, recumbent position. Okay. So what happens is that when the bacteria enters the bloodstream, the body's defense system is unable to counter its effect. So the bacteria are released from the focus of primary infection into the bloodstream. Symptoms are high fever, shivering, dull eyes, recumbent position, and the antemortem significance is unfit. The condition is associated with pathological systemic changes. Animal bleeds poor and the carcass tends to be alkaline. So in septicemia, the carcass is alkaline. Now we have fever. It is a syndrome in which hypothermia or toxemia are produced by substances circulating in the bloodstream. It may be septic or aseptic. Septic fever is caused by bacteria, viruses, protozoa, and fungi. Symptoms are anorexia, dullness, lymphadenopathy, vomiting, diarrhea, and the antemortem significance is unfit. If fever is septic, animal is sent for treatment. After treatment, the animal is suspect. Okay, so fever is caused due to hyperthermia or toxemia. Okay, what happens is toxins are released in the bloodstream. That's why the body immune system recuperates and starts the temperature, heating the temperature of the body as causes fever. Stillbirth. It occurs largely as a result of prolonged birth and fetal hypoxemia. Stillbirth cases may be used as ingredient of sausages and is also used as delicacy in some countries. But the antemortem significance of it is it's not harmful to death, but the flesh is unjustified. So that is why it is ethically not correct to eat the meat from stillbirth. Okay. So the commonest cause is brucella. Brucella causes a lot of abortion in cattle. Okay, that is why it is considered the most common cause in brucella. Rickets is caused by defective calcification of growing bones. The essential lesion is a failure of provisional calcification, persistence of hypertrophic cartilage, enlargement of epiphysis. Here you can see the dog is affected with rickets. You can see how the limbs are bent. Okay, and it is a very common characteristic of rickets, so it is very easy to detect it in antemortem significance. Okay, the symptoms are stiffness of gait, enlargement of limb joints, curvature in knee, and irregular eruption of teeth. And the antemortem significance is that it is not suitable for slaughter. Emaciation due to loss of protein in body. It is always due to chronic disease like John's disease and liver rot in sheep and John's disease in cattle. Chronic swine erysipelas. Symptoms are dejected and staring look, rough coat, alopecia of wool pigs, have dark red areas on skin, sunken eyes, edema. So the antemortem significance is unfit. Then we have melanosis. It is the deposition of pigment melanin in abnormal sites or organs in animal. In cattle, sheep, and pigs, the antemortem significance is unfit. So the melanin is an endogenous brown-black pigment randomly distributed in tissue. In grey and white horses, this pigment is found under the shoulder. So melanin is also found in the lymph nodes. Okay, so you have to be aware that there's not in the pig skin, belly fat, and mammary tissues. The melanin is there. So this condition is known as CD belly or CD cut because black color is in the mammary tissue resembles round black seeds, and the judgment is carcasses showing extensive melanosis are condemned, and if the condition is localized, only affected organ or parts of the carcass needs to be condemned. Then we have metritis. Metritis is inflammation of uterus. As we first said in melanosis that the carcass showing extensive melanosis are condemned, but in metritis it is unfit. So it is the inflammation of the uterus. Here you can see a photo of metritis affected uterus of animal, a metritis affected animal. So metritis is due to decomposition of fetus in uterus and injury to the uterus. Symptoms are slight vaginal discharge, dull eye, loss of appetite, septic metritis, high fever, swollen vulva, lips wide open yellow, red chocolate-like pus, and recombinant position. Immaturity. In calves, prime wheel should be 4 months old, weight should be 60 to 65 kg weight, and prime wheel should be 4 months old. So the flesh be pale, firm, moist, area white, firm fat. Symptoms in such wheels, the muscles are not properly developed. This is a problem with calves and wheels that the muscle is not properly developed because it's still very young animal, very immature animal. So the antemortem significance it is taken as infant, as an immature flesh is unwholesome and repugnant. Immature flesh is little or no fat, palatability is low. Edema. In its abnormal amount of fluid accumulates body vessels in the lymphatic vessels, and the symptoms are hydrothorax. Hydrothorax means edema of thoracic cavity, ascites, edema of abdominal cavity, anasarca is edema of musculature. Antemortem significance in ascites or hydrothorax, the affected parts are removed and the rest are used. In anasarca, total musculature is affected, so total rejection of carcass and organs is required. Thank you. So this is all for the unit 1 of my slide. Okay. I hope you enjoyed and understood the, wait a second. I hope you enjoyed the slide. Okay, thank you.